everyone, welcome back to Two Idiots Review. I'm Caleb.
I'm Hannah, and we finished Iron Fist
Season
2 yesterday, Monday. What's the day?
Before that? I don't know.
I don't know.
A
We
couple days
finished it,
ago.
yeah, a couple days ago. So we're gonna do a spoiler-free review real quick before we jump into all of the details. So if you haven't seen it,
You're okay for
you're
now.
okay for now. We'll
We'll
let
give
you
you a
know. It was better than season 1. I'll say that. Like, it wasn't great by any means. It still had its issues, but it was better.
I feel like it didn't drag out as much as season 1 of Iron Fist did. I feel like in that middle portion of season 1
where it's like,
felt
who's a villain?
really
You're
slow
a villain. This guy's a villain.
and just kind of dragged out. This
Yeah.
one, I mean, it's a shorter season. It's 10 episodes.
Yeah, they were like, we'll give you a renewal, but we're gonna take some of your episodes away.
But so yeah, it didn't have as much of like a dragging out feeling, and I feel like I wasn't a big fan of the Hand as a villain, so to not have them as a villain to me felt a little bit.
The only thing I didn't like about the Hand, I liked the Hand, but it was like the Hand was in Daredevil, and then the Hand was in Iron Fist, and then they're fighting him in the Defenders. And I get that they're like this massive villain, so they were trying to build it. And I didn't mind so much that they fought them for so long. I didn't mind too much, but it did, drag. Just the season 1 of Iron Fist did drag a little bit with that, because that was like his whole thing. I am the,
And I was just a little bit confused by them until the Defenders, when I finally understood what their purpose was, like who was running them and what their purpose was. But this is way off topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, so season 2, it was I would say it's worth the watch, because season 3, if they do a season 3, it looks like it's going to be really good. I know, me too. The way, not to get too much in, not going to spoil anything, but let's just say that season 3 looks like it could be the best season out of any of the Iron Fist.
Which isn't saying a whole lot.
Which isn't saying a whole lot, but I feel like it would be worth it. It's 10 quick episodes. I would just say watch it, and then hopefully you'll feel the same and be a little bit excited about what's to come, and then, go from there.
Yeah. So if you haven't watched it, click off. Well, subscribe, and then click off, because now we're going to get into some details. Everybody dies. No. That's always my spoiler for everything.
All right. The first thing that we need to talk about is Colleen lighting up the sword.
Well, do we have to talk about that first? Because that's at the last. This is 2 seconds of the last episode.
That's the biggest thing that sticks out in my mind, I guess.
Well, let me talk about some of the issues that I had.
All right.
Joy and Ward had nothing to do with this season.
Yeah.
And so
Ward
because they
was nothing.
Well, because they weren't in Rand. They weren't showing Rand. They weren't doing the business side of, like they did in the first season, which was a lot
really
of
big
it.
Part of it.
Yeah. So that Rand was not involved. The company was not involved in it in the season. So while Joy may have left Rand, Ward is still there running it, but they weren't. Danny's not there, so there was no reason to show it, which I understand. But so yeah, him and Joy didn't really have much to do. Joy was just kind of an annoyance throughout the season.
Joy was more of a villain enabler for
Davos. And I think I said this before, but I never understood Sorry, one of our neighbors was just screaming, I hope nobody's being killed out there. But that was weird. But Joy, throughout the whole first season, she was trying to be friendly with Danny and do all these things, and then even I feel in the final episodes, she never really had a problem with him, and then all of a sudden in the last little teaser, the last episode of season 1, they kind of show a little thing, kind of what's going to go forward, and her and Davos are trying to conspire against Danny, and I'm where the crap did that come from?
Well, she kind of explained it in this season.
Yeah, she blames him for all of her crap, but
yeah, she said she was just angry that one, that he had lied also about her father and all that. She felt like she had a right to know.
He's I just got back, I can't
But yeah, so essentially, she was equally angry at Ward too.
Well, I would say more so at Ward.
Well,
yeah. She wasn't trying to kill Ward, so maybe not equally.
But she even explained that. She just said, I went after Danny and not after you because I knew that you would destroy yourself, so I didn't have to do anything. Yeah. She was like, but Danny, I feel like I had to take him down, and you were just gonna self-destruct on your own.
Yeah, the whole Ward side story where he was in rehab, which it's great that he's in rehab, but it was just
I feel like it was fine because it was a nice continuation of his story from the first season where he was a drug addict. But it was very. I feel like
it just kept taking away.
They dragged it out for too long. I feel like to show glimpses of it is fine, but that was his main story point, and it didn't really go anywhere. No. And it just I feel like it was there just because they felt like they needed to have Ward in the show because he was in the first season.
But then it just ended with his girlfriend being pregnant and then leaving him. I was like,
what was the point of all this?
I was like, I was like, this was just a waste of time for this.
Unless that story point picks back up somewhere in season 3, which it probably will, but. I mean, at least it ended with him and Danny kind of buddied up, and
that was one of my favorite parts. It was the last 2 seconds of the season, but it was one of my favorite parts of the season was him and Danny finally really truly. They always get oh, we're brothers. I'm like, you guys don't act like brothers. But then to kind of
they're joking around on the plane, and they have nice chemistry.
Yeah, so I liked seeing them kind of their back and forth and their relationship a little bit. So I liked that, and I liked the way it ended, but the whole thing with him in rehab was just weird. I mean, not rehab, but the meetings. And the only good thing that Joy did all season was bring in Typhoid Mary, because I actually really liked her character. I thought she had a lot of layers and a lot of different.
Her character was weird but interesting.
Well, yeah, but so she has Mary and then the altar. I don't know which one is the altar, which one's the real one, or if there is a real one. I have no idea. But Mary, Walker, and then there's the third one, which I believe is going to be Bloody Mary, which that does not sound great. So that I think that they kind of
more hinted, towards the drink than towards
Well, I got it since she murdered a bunch of people to get out of the cave. But so they kind of hinted at that. So I kind of liked her character a little bit because she had a lot of layers, a lot of depth, and there was just kind of who is this?
It's a bizarre character, but in a good
worked,
way.
Yeah, because she still had a conscience. She wasn't just oh, I'm gonna do this. She was. Because
at first I thought that Walker was gonna be the villain and the dark character, but I'm not really. I'm she's more.
She actually has a code. I feel of no, we're not gonna do that.
I mean, she's a little bit more assertive and a little bit more aggressive than Mary, yeah. But she's not necessarily bad. She's just...
Well, when she becomes Mary, all of a sudden she's
I'm just gonna go over here and
draw. And you're Mary. Okay, got it. But yeah, so I liked her character. So that was the good thing that Joy did, is that she had hired Walker to surveil Danny and Colleen. So that was kind of nice. Not that she was surveilling them, but I liked her character. The other high point is always Colleen. I've liked her character. I felt like she's had the best character arcs in both seasons. This one, it was her not wanting to be a vigilante superhero, to then just accepting that fate and then getting an Iron Fist as a reward. So, which I'm not sure I agree with that too much, but they are kind of hinting that her mom, grandmother, some sort of ancestor is alive and was a female Iron Fist. So that's I guess that's kind of where they're going. The other bright spot for me was Misty, because I really like her character on Luke Cage, and I like her and Colleen together, Daughters of the Dragon and whatnot. Hopefully we get that. Even if it's just a mini series, I'll take a 4 or 5 episode Daughters of the Dragon. That'd be kind of cool. So yeah, she was a bright spot in this season, her and Colleen.
Or even what about doing a 13 episode Iron Fist season 3, but then having 3 episodes fully dedicated to those two, and maybe just have Danny not in it.
No, I wouldn't want that, just because I feel it takes something out of Iron Fist. If you're gonna do an Iron Fist, do an Iron Fist. But maybe you do a combined season of Heroes for Hire and Daughters of the Dragon or something.
But what if it was just not in the middle of the season, but what if it was just 10 episodes of Iron Fist season 3, and then the back 3 episodes is just a special.
Well, but I feel like you don't even need to call it as Iron Fist, and just say it's Daughters of the Dragon special, and then I just
don't want another show category on Netflix. I just want it to be a part of that.
So, I mean, I would like to see that. Misty's gonna need a new arm because hers kind of got thrashed.
So Coulson, step up.
I know, right? That would be so nice. He's like, oh, I'm not gonna. I mean, Rand did it. He's basically, I guess, the Iron Man of the Defenders.
I feel like because Danny is a billionaire who owns a company and Tony Stark is a billionaire who owns a company, they must know of each other. You can't.
Oh, I'm sure.
You can't call and be like, hey,
let's combine tech.
Although I guess Tony Stark didn't give Coulson his arm because technically we don't know if he knows if he's alive
Fitz,
or not.
I think Fitz
and Simmons
are the ones that did it, but.
Let's get them in there. Give her an Iron Man arm. I don't care. It doesn't have to be as fancy as Coulson.
Oh, I do like that. They were saying something about her needing a new arm. Misty's like, yeah, I've got some ideas for some improvements, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what we need. Because it's just it doesn't do anything special. It's just the metal arm. So I want her to have guns in it, or I want
turn
something
into
cool.
a sword, or
just something cool in there.
Go, gadget. She's turns into a helicopter blade and she flies off.
That'd be pretty funny. She's like, bye guys. But yeah, so those were my highlights. I mean, yes, Colleen lighting up the sword at the very end. All of a sudden she's and I was like, oh my gosh, why has nobody done this before? I was like, Danny, what are you doing over there?
And then Danny did it with the guns.
And then Danny did it with the guns. So...
and he has, he can do both now. Both.
Yeah, hands. He had both. Yeah, he had both hands. I was like, oh, finally, because he didn't
no
want.
No more I gotta recharge my chi.
He probably found out about Colleen lighting up the sword. And was like, oh, I can't. He had to try to one up her. He was like, oh yeah, now I have two hands.
Now I want to see him shoot.
I'd like to see the story of how he got it back, and
I'm sure they'll explain.
Which if there's a season 3, that's what I. Now I want there to be a season 3.
Because now he can start doing stuff.
Yeah, well now he can start doing stuff, and he didn't. I will say that he didn't make this face as much as he did in the first season. So he was always just so pouty in the first season. He was better this season, but it's still bad when you're the weak link in your own show, because he still is. Like I said, he was better.
But now that he's going to be a gunslinging
now that
cowboy.
But I feel like, you got him and Ward, teaming up. I don't know. It might be...
Let's turn this into, a Iron Fist Westworld type thing. Let's have,
how
cowboys
do we know he's not?
and...
Oh. Maybe he's a host. Anyways. So anything else stick out?
We can talk about Davos. So.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That guy.
I thought he was okay. He was, his story was interesting in the fact that he wasn't I'm just out for, vengeance or anything. He was trying to be a hero just in the wrong way, and that, he's trying to rid New York of all
He's trying
those
to,
unrighteous...
cleanse, he's trying to, cleanse the city by murdering
Where instead of,
everyone.
having actual justice, he's I'm just gonna kill you because we're better off without you, which is, the wrong approach, but it's a storyline that's been done a few different times where someone's trying to
the Punisher and
yeah, where you're trying to you anti-hero more than just a straight up villain. But the whole thing between him and Danny, this season actually almost felt more like an origin story because they had a lot of the flashbacks to Kung Lung and about his relationship between Danny and Davos and all that, and how, Davos had felt like he had gotten robbed of the opportunity to become the Iron Fist. Whether it's true or not. But
just because his dad stopped him from being killed by Danny. And
then, it didn't help that his mom was
you're the worst. Get out.
How dare you, dishonor us and all that. So, but it felt like an origin story because he was fighting someone who was essentially the opposite half of who he is, and then there are all the flashbacks to Kung Lung and all that, which I did like. I liked those flashbacks, and to understand a little bit more about how he became the Iron Fist and his relationship with Davos and everything. It added a little bit more an interesting depth to the show.
Yeah, it's always it's always better when there's like a personal aspect to the villain where, you know, the hero is fighting and it's personal. Like, it's not just like, oh, this guy, I gotta go, you know. Because that always makes for a more compelling story. There were things that I liked about Davos, and then there were things that just kind of, you know, bugged me a little bit. Yeah, the fact that he kept, this is my right, every like 2 seconds to Dany or to anybody who would listen. That kind of got a little grating. I was like, okay, we got it. You believe you are like the last son of Kunlun.
It's like, well, you're definitely acting like an Iron Fist.
I'm like, well, you're a whiny baby, so yep, that's Iron Fist. If we're judging it based on, you know, Dany. But it was the back and forth and the fact that, you know, Dany still let him live. Because even Davos was like, after all, you know, after everything, like, you're still showing me, like...
And I don't want to see a redemption for him. Quite frankly, I'd just rather just have him not be in the show anymore. Like, his story's done.
Yeah, he's in jail. Let's just call it.
Don't have him, like, you know, show up in season 3 and be like, oh, I'm a changed man. Like,
yeah. No, the biggest upset for me was when they killed off BB. That was a character that I liked. And that just got introduced into this season. And I was, like, really started to like his character. And then he got killed. And I was like, oh, dang it. I was like, why do the good ones always have to die?
Why couldn't it have just been Dany?
Or any of the other people that they were dealing with. But, so yeah, I mean, all in all, I would say, I mean, it was definitely a step up from season 1. There were still some things that need to be worked out. I mean, they had a different showrunner this season than they did last season. So... who knows what's going to happen with season 3? They're like, we need another new one to do this.
I don't know.
Who knows?
I mean, just, you know, like we said before, season 3 looks like it might be really
It might be.
exciting.
Like, I'm like a little excited if there's a season 3.
I want
to see the Dany Ward team up. I like that.
I would like to see just a little bit more, let it be a little bit more fun, because, like, the Netflix shows are really dark and gritty and everything like that, which is fine. But I'd like Iron Fist to be the exception for that, for at least for the season 3, and just let them have a little bit more fun with it, especially now that he's like a gunslinging.
Well, especially, and I think like you got like a little glimpse of that in the end with Ward being like, "I tried," like it's all, you know, like kind of joking around.
Don't take this show so seriously, and maybe that, you know, lighting it up a little bit, I feel like would help. What would help with the show.
Like let him have fun being the Iron Fist. Like
I know, like don't let him be like, this is such a burden and a responsibility. Like let him be like, I can freaking like punch a wall. Like let him have some fun.
If I punch the ground, everybody goes flying. So
so maybe, you know, hopefully it'll be a little bit more of a fun season, and then maybe that'll make it better.
Yeah, who knows? We'll see. Let us know what you guys thought in the comments. If you've seen it, if you're planning to see it. I don't know why you've watched all the spoilers, but...
I know, it's like a 14-minute video, and like, yeah, we're good.
But yeah, let us know what you guys thought in the comments. Like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.